The image on this card is truly heartbreaking, as this card event represents such a sad incident. In the game Twilight Struggle, this is an event that needs to be properly handled by both sides, and we'll take a look at this now, here on Legendary Tactics. The Soviets Shoot Down KAL-007 is a powerful US event, and can make a difference in Asia as the game winds down towards final scoring. The Soviets are going to need to be careful in handling this one, and we'll take a look in depth at the card right now. The Soviets Shoot Down KAL-007 is a starred 4-op US late war event card. Triggering the event will result in a few things. First of all, DEFCON will be worsened by 1, and the US will be awarded 2 victory points. If South Korea is US controlled, the US may then place influence or do realignments as though they had played a card worth 4 operations points. For the Soviet player, this one can obviously be tricky. While it isn't exactly a DEFCON suicide card owing to the fact that it can almost always be sent to space, it's still not fun to deal with. If the US controls South Korea, I think it's a safe bet you'll want to send this to the space race. If they don't, then that decision becomes a little less obvious. It depends on the state of the game and the score. 2 victory points might matter at this stage of the game because there is less time to catch up and the War Games event enters play at this stage of the game. But if the DEFCON allows and you think you can accomplish great things with the 4 ops, and if the US doesn't control South Korea, then go ahead and do your thing. If you have to play it because you have another DEFCON degrading card, it's a relatively safe headline as it will trigger first in most cases, lowering DEFCON from 3 to 2 ahead of the US card. I hope the Americans don't choose another DEFCON degrader to headline for their sake. Of course, this comes at the cost of generally denying you your first action round battleground country coup. If you play this card during action rounds, and if the US controls South Korea, you might want to spend some ops from this card to break control there before triggering the event, obviously when the DEFCON level is in a safe range. For the Americans, this is another reason, as if you needed one, to maintain control in South Korea. It can be a very strong headline. It worsens DEFCON, potentially blocking the USSR from their usual first action round coup shenanigans. It gives you 2 victory points, which are always welcome, especially in the late war. And if you have South Korea securely under your influence, it can essentially give you the 4 ops anyway, and during the headline phase to boot. And if the Soviets make the mistake of headlining a DEFCON worsening card like We Will Bury You, it can cost them the game, as Soviets Shoot Down KAL-007 is guaranteed to trigger first. So for the Americans, this is a safe headline. If you're in the middle of action rounds, you will obviously take the ops if DEFCON sits at 2 or if control of South Korea is out of reach. It's not a bad play, although you do forego the 2 victory points. Just make sure you use those ops effectively. So in summary, for the Soviet player, you'll most likely send this card to space. If circumstances allow, you might consider a trade giving up 2 victory points in exchange for 4 operations points. For the US, this event will be a no-brainer if DEFCON allows and if you control South Korea. It would be best used as a headline. If you can't take advantage of the event, 4 operations points is a pretty good consolation prize. This is our analysis of the Soviets Shoot Down KAL-007 event in the game Twilight Struggle. I hope you got some value out of this video, and if you did, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.